Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Smithville Fiber Internet, streaming TV, home security and automation in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Maller Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. LawMG.com. IU Alumni Association, connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. Alumni.iu.edu. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. Rural.indiana.edu. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk, Hoosiers 5 through 11 years old began receiving the COVID-19 vaccine this week after its approval by the FDA.
The spring term for our students in school could look very, very different.
Ahead, we talk with a pediatrician about what the new vaccine means for parents and children. Afghan evacuees began arriving in the United States more than 2 months ago. Now the process turns to resettling them in a new country.
We're getting the kids enrolled in school, we're getting the adults into English classes immediately that we offer.
Resettlement agencies across the state are ramping up to meet the demand. And with the total number of hours lost to power outages increasing, we look at why more power lines aren't buried. Those stories plus the latest news headlines right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Perry Metz, in for the vacationing Joe Wren. In what state officials are calling a game changer, children ages 5 through 11 began receiving COVID-19 vaccine this week. The FDA gave approval for the Pfizer vaccine on Tuesday. The child-sized dose is 1/3 that of the adult dose.
The spring term for our students in school could look very, very different. We know that if you are fully vaccinated and you're close contact, you don't have to quarantine.
Officials caution that pediatric vaccine supplies may be limited initially as shipments arrive on a staggered basis. But they urge that children be vaccinated as soon as possible. Parents and guardians can register their children at ourshot.in.gov. We're joined now by Dr. Scott Moore, a Riley Physicians pediatrician, for more about the vaccine for children. Dr. Moore, what does having a vaccine for young children mean going forward for kids in school?
Yes, thank you very much for having me on your show today. I appreciate that. So we have been using many different layers of protection to try to keep our kids safe and keep the extended families safe throughout this pandemic. Whether washing your hands or wearing a mask or staying distance, we found that those things can be effective, but the very best thing that we can do is use the vaccination. It has been well studied and found to be safe in this age group and very protective against developing symptomatic illness with the COVID disease.
We all know that there is vaccine hesitancy with some adults. How do you convince those folks to get their children vaccinated?
We have a discussion with parents, and there are often concerns about all of the vaccines that we give. But having a relationship with a pediatrician so that we can talk about the parents' legitimate concerns are good. There's a lot of misinformation and misunderstanding about vaccines and their safety. And there are a lot of things that we can do to help people understand how they work and reassure them that these are good and very good for their children in the long run.
What are the most common questions you get from parents?
I think for this vaccine specifically, myocarditis has been a question. And that is a very, very rare occurrence. And it's much more common for that side effect and for other side effects to happen after children have COVID disease itself than after the vaccine.
Now, children are required to get a number of vaccines already to go to school. Do you envision the COVID vaccine joining the list of measles, mumps, polio, and the like?
I think to have the schools remain open and hopefully not wear masks sometime, that a high vaccination rate is going to be needed to make that occur. Hopefully we can have enough people do this voluntarily so that it won't need to become a mandated vaccine, but we'll have to see over time. And with continued circulation of the virus and potential variants in the future, it may be that repeated vaccination and boosters will be necessary, but we'll only know that over time.
Thank you, Dr. Moore, for sharing your views with us.
Thank you.
Attorney General Todd Rokita is suing the federal government to halt President Biden's workplace COVID-19 vaccination requirements. Indiana Public Broadcasting's Brandon Smith reports that Rokita, in cooperation with Governor Eric Holcomb, is filing 3 lawsuits targeting policies for federal contractors, healthcare workers, and companies with at least 100 employees.
Rokita calls the president's COVID-19 vaccination policies an egregious, insidious overreach of federal workplace safety authority.
This is not a workplace issue. It's been with us. It's been with us at our homes. It's been with us on our sports teams. It's been with us in our kids' schools. It's been with us everywhere.
The Occupational Safety and Health Administration's rule for employers with at least 100 workers gives them a choice. Employees get vaccinated or get regularly tested and mask up. Rokita Chief of Staff Lori Torres says that's not a reasonable choice.
A weekly test times the millions who may not get vaccinated, we're not even sure whether that's feasible.
Rokita will work with other states on some of the lawsuits. For Indiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Brandon Smith at the State House.
It's been more than 2 months since Afghan evacuees began arriving in the United States. Now that many are nearing the end of their processing or have completed it altogether, the focus has turned to resettling them. Mitch Legan spoke with some of the state's refugee resettlement organizations on what that process is like.
More than 50,000 Afghan people are at U.S. military bases, waiting to be settled across the country. About 600 are expected to come here to Indiana, and it's up to Cole Varga to make sure that transition's smooth.
We've been busy preparing, we've been busy hiring and training staff, we've been busy talking to landlords and employers.
Varga and his team at Exodus have been working overtime to meet demand. They're responsible for about half of the Afghan evacuees who will end up making Indiana their home.
That's a big ask for a network that's been strapped and trying to rebuild as quickly as possible.
Resettling one person is a tall enough task, but 300 or more? That's almost double the number they'd resettle in a full year during the Trump administration.
It's not even 0 to 60, it's more like 0 to 600.
Varga usually has plenty of notice before someone arrives at Exodus. Sometimes he finds out as much as a year in advance. Now it's happening multiple times a week, and normally on short notice.
We might not know until 48 hours before they hit the airport that what day they're gonna arrive. So that creates a scramble for us to try to find housing.
After someone arrives in Indianapolis, the number one priority is finding somewhere to live. Hotels and Airbnbs work as temporary options as crews work to find affordable housing. Varga says that's been the most difficult aspect so far.
We're just always trying to find available apartments and jumping on wait lists, and the next 2-bedroom that comes up, we want it. The next 5 2-bedrooms that come up, we want them.
And it's only the beginning of their work. Once evacuees have a roof over their head, attention turns to preparing them for life in America. Exodus offers a variety of cultural classes on topics from state laws to what the first trip to the supermarket will be like.
We're getting the kids enrolled in school, we're getting the adults into English classes, cultural orientation, so they know kind of what's the environment here in Indiana.
At Catholic Charities in Fort Wayne, Resettlement Director Nyen Chan has a goal: get people in permanent housing and ready for employment in about 6 months.
I generally happen.
That's because that's how long federal resettlement funds typically last. Private donations can help offset that, and some evacuees don't need help for that long.
They have the opportunity to support their own family with their employment income. They want to become independent from the public system. That is their dream.
Businesses across the state are eager for the help. Varga and Chan get calls every day about availability. As soon as Samir Zubair heard Fort Wayne would be settling evacuees, he reached out to Chan about hiring some. He oversees 7 Wenco Wendy's in the area and will take all the help he can get.
I've actually spoke with these gentlemen who just showed up. We're just waiting on some of their documents to finalize.
The businessman in Zubair was excited to find workers, but it's more than that to him. Over 20 years ago, he fled Afghanistan as a refugee.
I know when I first moved here, one of the biggest things for us was to get a job. It's a great feeling. When I offered them and I told them that, hey, as soon as you guys get your documents, we're on standby, we'll take care of you. You couldn't believe how big their smiles were on their faces.
But the agency's work doesn't end when evacuees find work. They'll continue helping with the transition as long as they're needed. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Mitch Legan.
Vargas says he expects to be settling people through at least the first half of next year. Bloomington Parks and Recreation began redesigning Goat Farm Park in 2013, but plans were set aside until 2020. This week, the department unveiled its final plans, and construction could begin as early as next year. Holden Absher has the story.
Goat Farm Park is a 33-acre property directly south of the roundabout at East Winslow Road and South High Street. The Jackson Creek Trail connects the park to both Sherwood Oaks Park and Alcott Park. But perhaps the most notable feature of the property is the old red barn in the middle of the prairie. The Parks Department plans to incorporate this existing barn and silo into a new plaza and paved trails.
It's not meant to be a large gathering space, but some plantings and some picnic tables and seat benches and things like that.
The design incorporates feedback from a public meeting in April and features pollinator gardens and a restoration of the middle third of the prairie with native plants. The Parks Department restored the northern third of the prairie near Winslow Road a few years back.
And since then have just seen amazing results in terms of the native flowers and grasses, supporting native wildlife, butterflies, pollinators, and a whole host of other wildlife in that area.
The design includes 10 permeable parking spots off the roundabout at Winslow Road and High Street. 4 parking spaces will be handicap accessible, and the entire lot will be blocked off with a turnaround point.
We're not putting in any kind of ball fields or, playgrounds or things like that. The purpose is really to continue to highlight and enjoy the natural beauty of this park, but to increase access and accessibility and some of the development of the park through some paths and seating areas.
The Sherman Rogers family donated the property to the Bloomington Parks Foundation in 2007, and it was deeded as a city park in 2009. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Holden Absher.
No construction date has been set yet, but the department hopes to get started next year. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. The average time electric customers were without power rose in 2019. That led one person to ask our City Limits project, why aren't power lines buried underground? And the Indiana women's basketball team is ranked the highest it ever has been as the season is set to tip off. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
Welcome to Amanpour on PBS. I'm Christiane Amanpour in London, giving you the global view. I've covered the world for nearly 3 decades, and I'm dedicated to bringing you all the facts. Please join me for conversations with newsmakers, world leaders.
Good to be with you, Christiane.
Artists and writers, the people who define, change, and challenge our world. That's Amanpour on PBS.
Your favorite member benefit is getting better and bigger.
This is wonderful.
Over the next year, Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream.
They give us all that they've got.
From your favorite cooking and travel series.
Even the stairs are breathtaking.
To history specials and award-winning documentaries. Better and bigger.
That really is the fun part.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. Former Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill says he's open to running for political office again. As Brock Turner reports, Hill has been meeting with constituents since he lost re-election last year.
Indiana's embattled former Attorney General Curtis Hill says he's considering a run for future political office. But speaking at an event in Noblesville about race, education, and COVID restrictions, Hill declined to specify a particular race he is eyeing.
I've been firmly implanted in the concept of public service since I was a prosecuting attorney from years before. So I anticipate continuing that process.
Hill's term ended last year when he was defeated in the Republican primary by current AG Todd Rokita. Hill's law license was temporarily revoked after the Indiana Supreme Court found he groped 4 women at a party in March 2018. A special prosecutor appointed in that case opted not to pursue criminal charges. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Brock Turner.
What inclusion means. Bruce Borders, the longtime Republican representative for Indiana House District 45, ran unopposed in the 2020 general election. But in 2022, he'll have an unexpected primary challenger, fellow Republican Representative Jeff Ellington. Borders says Ellington never reached out to him to let him know he was entering the race.
It's a part of it. I mean, demographics change. People move. Areas gain in population. Areas lose in population. I mean, I've never ran from a top fight.
Ellington currently represents District 62, which includes most of Greene County and a portion of Monroe. But after new district maps were approved by the GOP this summer, District 62 no longer includes Greene County. It's now in District 45. Ellington announced last month he was moving from south of Bloomington to Bloomfield, the county seat in Greene County. Republican Jackson County Council member Dave Hall says he will run to fill the District 62 seat left vacant by Ellington. He's likely to face Democrat Penny Githens, a current Monroe County commissioner, who announced she's also seeking the seat. Candidates cannot officially declare with the state until January 5th. As some parents and other activist groups campaign against the use of social emotional learning concepts in schools, experts say that's contributing to the spread of misinformation. Indiana Public Broadcasting's Jeannie Lindsay explains how one expert describes SEL's benefits for students.
Some people worry about social emotional learning in schools because of its perceived ties to critical race theory. But Sandy Washburn says those concerns are rooted in misinformation. She's a research scholar at Indiana University and former middle and high school teacher. Instead, she says social emotional learning helps kids develop their own identity and recognize their values. It doesn't teach them which values to have.
Also, identifying and managing emotions and, strategies to deal with stress.
Washburn says SEL also helps kids communicate their needs and work with others.
Eyes are open, ears are listening. Those are some of the social emotional skills. Like, I'm aware of how when my body moves, sometimes that helps me pay attention. Sometimes it helps me not pay attention.
And to combat misinformation, Washburn says it's important for teachers to explain how they use SEL tools with their students. For Indiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Jeannie Lindsay.
The average American home experienced more than 8 hours without power in 2020, which is more than twice what it was half a decade ago. That led one Bloomington resident to ask City Limits series why so many power lines are above ground, as electrical lines become increasingly vulnerable to storms and outages. Bente Bouthier has this report.
Lifelong Bloomington resident Justin Pope says he and his wife have been experiencing regular power outages since they bought their home in the Fritz Terrace neighborhood. They've lived there for 4 years with their 2 dogs and a lizard. Pope says this year they've been lucky and haven't had any outages, but is worried about when they could return and how frequent they've been in the past.
The past 3 years, 4 years, quite a bit. I'd say at the most, maybe the worst was like 10 a year. And they'd just be so sudden, and sometimes they'd be off for more than 12 hours, I'd say. Nothing longer than 24, but some pretty long ones.
He wonders what's leading to the power getting knocked out so easily in such localized areas.
Sometimes it'll just be a little bit of rain or a tiny wind gust, and it'll just be out, just completely out.
Pope does suspect that living in an older neighborhood with lots of vegetation does have something to do with it. According to the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers, the duration of outages in Indiana increased from 2019 to 2020, but the average number of outages that occurred went down. These are tracked through standards that measure minutes and numbers of outages per customer. The average person lost power in 2020 for 294 minutes, more than the 266 in 2019. But the average number of outages occurring decreased to 1.31 in 2020 from 1.5 in 2019. Bruce Calloway is with Duke Energy. He says a majority of power outages are vegetation-related, like trees and branches interfering with lines and transformers. He adds that most power lines in the state are overhead rather than buried underground.
We often get the major causes of our outages are vegetation.
But in that case, why not just bury the power lines?
When we look at designing a line, we look to design it in the most cost-effective way because, these costs are borne by all our customers in the state. That's part of what goes into rates. So we want to do that in the most cost-effective manner.
Both he and Doug Childs, the executive director of the Utilities District of Western Indiana REMC, say burying the lines in southern Indiana is complicated by rocky soil, which Childs says can make installation of underground electric even more expensive. Childs says the only way to improve reliability and prevent outages is regular maintenance in areas with trees and updating infrastructure. His district is looking at ways of modernizing and updating their grid, which includes replacing old porcelain insulators with polymer. Childs adds older neighborhoods with aging infrastructure will tend to have more outages.
Most utilities in the country, whether they're investor-owned, municipals, REMCs, obviously we've got a tremendous amount of infrastructure that's getting older every year, so we've got a lot to do. So undergrounding being that costly, it comes down to how many miles can you do in a year.
Callaway says Duke Energy has also been working to modernize its grid, implementing smart systems that make it easier to detect issues when they occur. Childs and Callaway say in newer neighborhoods, more lines are buried, and this is often a cost developers choose to incur.
Our country needs to invest more money into its electric system, do a lot of replacement, a lot of upgrades. There's no cheap way around this. And that includes in doing more and more tree trimming.
Indiana ranked 18th in the nation for longest power outages in 2019. Maine was the worst, with outages lasting 18 hours on average. Pope just wants his power to stay on and is thinking about the ways it affects his family and others.
I have a lizard and I worry about that. If, the power goes out, it needs to stay 90 degrees in there for him to live, because if it goes below 60 or something, he can die. And I can't imagine, having a kid or having a kid that needs things hooked up and running at all times, or a family member that needs that.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Ben Taboutier.
The Indiana women's basketball team reached the Elite Eight last year for the first time in school history. And with all 5 starters back, the Hoosiers have their sights set even higher. Pat Bean reports.
Last year was one like none other for the Indiana women's basketball team, and that's not because of the pandemic. The Hoosiers went 21-6, finished second in the Big Ten, climbed as high as number 9 in the national polls, and came within a game of reaching the NCAA's Final Four.
Last year was a lot of fun, and it was great, but none of that really matters going into this year, and we're starting kind of with a blank slate, and we have even bigger goals in mind and bigger aspirations.
Holmes will be a big part of how far Indiana goes this year. The All-American junior averaged just under 18 points and 8 rebounds a game last season. She and senior guard Grace Berger, who averaged 15 points a game, were both named preseason All-Big Ten. Berger also played this summer for Team USA, which won the gold medal at the AmeriCup.
I was for 3 weeks straight practicing twice a day for, 3-4 hours a day against the best players in the country. So just seeing kind of where I stand with them and seeing what I need to work on, I think that was valuable for me.
They're joined by Ali Patberg, Alexa Gulbe, and Nicole Cardano-Hillary in the starting lineup.
And even though it's a luxury to have, right, the veterans, you do them a disservice if you're not still holding them the way we've always held them, and that's to a really high standard.
The program has been on the rise under Morin. Since taking over in 2014, Indiana has appeared in the NCAA tournament 3 times. The Hoosiers also won the WNIT championship in 2018 and have been ranked in the top 25 a program record 38 straight weeks. Indiana enters the season ranked number 8, its highest ranking ever. The Hoosiers will be tested early with games against number 3 Stanford, number 5 NC State, and number 13 Kentucky. Defending Big Ten champion Maryland is ranked number 4.
So it'll really give us a chance to, one, play against that type of competition and to prepare ourselves for what the Big Ten is going to offer, because there's a lot of great teams in the Big Ten this year.
And while the team reached new heights last season, the Hoosiers know there's more to accomplish.
We haven't won a Big Ten championship. We haven't been to the Final Four. We haven't won a national championship. So I think in all of our minds, we're still not where we want to be.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Pat Bean.
The Indiana football team plays at number 9 Michigan Saturday night, looking to end a 4-game losing streak. And they'll be relying on true freshman Donovan McCulley at quarterback.
A year ago at this time, he was playing, for a sectional title, tomorrow night. So that's just, that's reality where it is. And he's had to grow up really, really fast. But I think his poise and his natural confidence is starting to show.
That's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Smithville Fiber Internet, streaming TV, home security and automation in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Maller Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. LawMG.com. IU Alumni Association, connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. Alumni.iu.edu. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. Rural.indiana.edu. And by WTIU members. Thank you.